back to my channel, Coffee and Pixie Dust. For those of you who do not know, I am Allie, and today's video is going to be a book talk for you guys, so I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please get a big thumbs up if you do. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It really make my day. And let's just jump into it. So the book that I'm going to be talking to you about is The Night Diary by Virna Harambe, which, if you guys never heard of this book like I did, I highly recommend picking it up. It says 12-year-old Nahashi doesn't recognize her country anymore. It's 1947 and India, newly free from British rule, has been divided into two countries, Pakistan and India. Hundreds of thousands are killed crossing borders as tensions between Muslims and Hindus flare. When Papa, who's Hindu, decides it's too dangerous to stay in Pakistan, Nashisha and her family become refugees and embark on a journey by train and by foot to reach their new home. The trek is long, difficult, and dangerous, and after losing her Muslim mother as a baby, Nashi can imagine losing her homeland too. But even if her country has been ripped apart, Nisha still believes in the possibility of putting herself back together. Told through Nisha's letters to her mother, The Night Diary is the helpful story of a girl's search for home, for her own identity, and for a hopeful future. So this is a really, really good book. It is exactly written like her diary into letters to her mother. I definitely think it's a good read because I don't feel like we talk about the anti-apartheid too much and about when India is newly free from Britain. I feel like a lot of that gets cut out. And I also feel like we don't talk about the relationship between the Hindus and the Muslims too much in history. And this was a really, really good read to just kind of learn more about that relationship. It's highly, highly something that I really, really liked. I really, really like the writing style in here. It's definitely easy to understand, easy to comprehend, and talks about the issues, but it also talks about this daughter's relationship with and understanding and coping with the loss of her mother as she grows older, along with losing her homeland and losing people that she cares about when it was never a big deal if they were Hindu or Muslim before, which I really feel like is an important part of the conversation. I'm going to read you one of my favorite passages, if I can find it. If I can find it. I also feel like it also talks about the relationship with her mother's family and her dad when they came in the equation, because I don't feel like that's ever really talked about, like the relationship between the Hindus and the Muslims and how they were how she was basically disowned for marrying someone who was Hindu, and her family cut off communication with her, which is an important part of the story as well. It also talks about how her dad's a doctor and raising children on his own and all of the things, and it's just a really, really good read. I highly, highly recommend it. If it's not something you're interested in learning about, then you might want to pass it. But this was just a really, really good book. It is definitely written in diary format, like I said. If that's not something that you enjoy reading it that way, then I wouldn't suggest it. I didn't have a hard time following through this book with it written in diary format. I feel like it did a really good job of telling the story while also being in the diary format. And I also feel like it would be a really good book if you've ever lost your mother at a young age, even though she lost her at a baby, but if you lost her at a young age, I definitely feel like it touches on that a lot in the story, which I feel is an important part of the story. Yes, the Hindu and the Muslim and the history part of India is important, but I also feel like touching on the relationship of growing up as a young girl without a mother is super important. So that is pretty much it. Basically is pretty much the back of the book really says. I don't really know what else to add to it. But this kind of gives you an idea of the journey in there, because that's in there as well. Let me see if I can find one of my favorite passages as well. Um, okay, so here it is. So she's talking to the cook, who is actually Muslim, but they have a relationship. He works for them even, but he's still like considered a family friend, even though, and so she starts it off with, Kazazi tells me stories about you once in a while. I hardly ask him to tell me about you because I'm afraid the stories will run out. So that touches on like the importance of the mother-daughter relationship. And then I asked if you like to cook. Kazi shook his head, taking the stick out of his mouth. She never stepped foot in the kitchen. She liked to paint. She'd go off to the back of the house and paint. She had to be reminded to eat. She was that sort. But it talks about then it also like touches on like her relationship with her father, and during all this it says your papa likes to cook, that's where you get it from. Before he hired me, he did the cooking for your mama, and they had gas. They pretend she didn't eat the cooking. She'd even dip her fingers in curry and her nails be yellowed for turmeric. And then it talks about this part I feel is important, so I'm going to read this. They were brave, you know. I don't know anyone who did what they did. I tilted my head and paid close attention. I could tell the way Kazi lowered his voice. He wanted to tell me something important. Their families were completely against their marriage. Papa's old school friend, a Hindu priest, agreed to marry them in secret. When they first came here, they were ostracized from the community, even though all kinds of people get along here. But marriage has always been different. He sliced a little bit of a few more chilies, twisted and pressed, and pestled into my corny powder. Even though I needed a cooking job since the restaurant shop I worked at closed. I asked at several restaurants and homes, but everyone seemed to have enough help. I was desperate, so I decided to knock on the door, and nobody wanted to knock. Your papa invited me in and had me cook also tiki, your mom's favorite dish. She presented it to your mama. She tasted it and her eyes lit up. I've been here ever since. Your papa is such a good doctor, and he quickly earned the respect of his patients in Maracas, and they began to accept in the community. Just as many things were getting better, she was gone to Mom only 3 years after they came here. I took in Kazi's words, let them dance and twirl in my head, replayed them over and over like a beautiful piece of music. I can't stop thinking about it. Papa having secrets with you, Papa cooking for a Kazi game, you and Papa marrying against everyone's wishes in secret. What would it have been like if you lived, Mama? These things Kazi tells me are the memories I'm supposed to have. They explode in my mind like fireworks. So I really felt like that was a good passage because it talks about the relationship that she wishes her mother was here, the relationship that her mother and her father had against everyone's wishes, and it also like really puts into context how things were starting to change and then they went back to how they were. And it also touches on how marriage was different because obviously from an American country we have the freedom to marry whoever we want, and although there is racism and there's people that are the way that they are, we don't think about a lot of that at times. And I just thought that was a really, really good passage to read. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know. I'd be happy to do more. I just am very, very new at YouTube. So again, let me know if this interests you, and I will see you all next time.